I'm sitting outside in my garden with a new mug of tea. And this new mug is kind of interesting because I'm very fussy. My husband will tell you that. I'm very fussy. And 2 years ago, I found a mug of the perfect shape, but it was the wrong color. And I've been drinking out of it for 2 years thinking, this mug is perfect shape, but I still don't like the color. And then yesterday, I found this one. Yesterday, I swear to God. Blue, different grades of blue. Now, I think it's lovely. And so I'm very excited to have a new mug. And yesterday I went to the gym for the first time and it was tough going. And then I came home and I'm feeling the shift in the energies, and the energies have shifted. This is why I'm making the video, not because of the mug, but because 2 years, and there it is right in front of me. There it is right in front of me. Now, yesterday evening I watched a video. I watched a few videos. I'm not going to say who they were by, but in one of the videos, the person was saying that this big event is going to happen. You've been feeling like you've been preparing for it all your life. It's still going to happen. And I'll do another video about this big event because it's big and scary. And not everybody's going to make it through this big event. And I thought, oh, really? Okay. Well, I don't want that. So I'm going to uncreate that. That's what I thought immediately. And then I looked at the comments, and this person is quite popular. Now, I like this person, but there were a ton of comments. And in the comments, they were saying, please, please tell us what's going to happen. Make a video about this big thing that's going to happen and how horrible it's going to be and how people aren't going to make it. But we're going to make it because we're all spiritually advanced and we're cool and everyone else is going to die except for us. That's kind of the vibe I was getting. That's not exactly what they were saying, but it's kind of what they were saying. So then I had a dream last night, and I'm just going to date this. This is middle of February 2025. I had a dream last night that I had a really, really massive apartment, and it was huge and it was fancy. It was so fancy. It was in Trinity College in Dublin, and I went to Trinity College. I'm like, why am I dreaming this? But I'm feeling it's symbolic, because if you're going to play Irish Monopoly, Grafton Street, Trinity College is probably the most expensive property on the board, right? So it's a symbol of that. And then there were two people who are in my life who have been on and off friends, on and off. And they were there inside the apartment and they started moving things around. And I'm like, hey guys, haven't seen you in ages. What you doing? And they said, oh, we thought we would move in here with you. I'm like, oh, did you? Well, I don't remember inviting you. And then I said, look, guys, it's not going to work out, you moving in here. So are you stuck for somewhere to live? And they're like, no, we have our place. And I said, okay, well, I didn't actually remember inviting you, and it just doesn't suit me right now to have you here. So, you know, maybe a different time, maybe not, but, you know, please, could you guys go? And that's something that people find very difficult to say. And what did they do? They didn't fight me. Say, oh, okay. And they left. And I got this huge wave of relief, feeling if they stayed for 2 weeks, 2 weeks to flatten the curve, you know the deal. They stay for 2 weeks and they're there forever. They're there forever. So I didn't give an inch right at the beginning. And that's okay. And that was interesting for me. But I think it's where we all are, you know. Being able to say these things, being able to catch them before they happen is important. And then I woke up with this mantra in my head. Highest and best timeline. Highest and best timeline. Highest and best timeline. I am asking for the highest and best timeline. And I realized, okay, now I have to make the video. Now I have to make the video for you guys. Highest and best timeline. And then as I sat with that energy and invoked that energy, as we can all do now as I'm saying it, I'm asking for the highest and best timeline for humanity. Highest and best timeline for humanity. Highest and best. Highest and best timeline. Highest and best timeline. I'm tuning my frequency into the highest and best timeline. You see, you shift and you move up. Those kind of people won't move into your apartment then. because it's so nice and clean and spacious and in such a fancy address, and you work so hard to get that apartment, and then these people just freeload into it. No, they won't even see your apartment. They won't even know that you would, highest and best timeline. And then I realized, well, that video yesterday, we could uncreate that. It doesn't have to be a big scary event. There doesn't have to be anything to bring us to our knees of that ilk. So much so that we have to have extra food, and there's not going to ever be food in the supermarkets, and we're going to turn on the tap and we're not going to have water. No, I'm not creating that. Yes, I have my wind up torches. Yes, I've got extra food in the shed. Why? Because I'm a responsible mother with children living in a house, and I need to know where the candles are. I need to know where we had a storm lately and we didn't have electricity for several hours. We were lucky. We only had it for several hours. We have a store of food in the house, and I think we should all be living that way. But not because there's going to be some event where it's going to close down the shops. You have to have cash. You have to make sure this and that and the other, and you won't have water. No. Highest and best timeline. And then when you're in the highest and best timeline, you trust. Completely you trust, and you allow, and you open. And I reached that frequency. I reached that frequency this morning, and I want everyone to reach that frequency, because then we can uncreate all the stuff we don't want, and then I can open up my Twitter, because I like to know what's going on, see? And then I see Mark Atwood posting up about how the Doge system was made by Obama and how that's all coming out now. And then I see Alex Jones, and he said, look what Doge just found out. Who is America funding? Oh my God, this is much more serious than US aid. And I'm going, yes, finally. It's all the stuff we knew. Conspiracy theory are becoming conspiracy fact. The truth conquers all, and people won't like it, because people will want to move into your apartment in the fanciest place in town and live there forever without doing their work. It's not going to happen. Do your work at your own apartment. Right? I'll come over and bring you a cup of sugar. If you have nowhere to live, you can sleep on my sofa, but not forever. Not too much so that you get so comfortable that you end up staying. I saw a meme yesterday. The hardest part about 2 weeks to flatten the curve is the first 88 weeks. No, this is the Great Awakening. These have been many little events that are not little. Many events, on the way. It was no surprise that 2 days ago I went past all my screenshots, because the phone has an update, right? And you can look at all your albums of screenshots, and you can go back in time. There was one from Pam Young-Ann's. She's on Facebook. She wrote this one May last year, I think, or the year. You'll remind me which year it was. It's like 2 years blocked into every year. It's just crazy. 10 years in every year. Anyway, she says 20 flares today. I have never seen so many solar flares in my life. And 5 of them are X-class flares. That was a big day. And guess what? Nobody died. Okay, nobody died. We all went out in the garden. You remember? And we all took photos of the sky. There was an aurora in Ireland. There was an aurora in England. There was auroras in France. Why? Because we had 20 solar flares in one day, and 5 of them are X-class flares. And if that happens again, we'll survive it again. There is no big extermination event. There is no big event that's going to bring us to our knees. We're in our highest and best timeline. And this is what we wanted to see. We want to see the reveal of truth. We want to see the reveal of values. And we want to honor and respect everybody, but not put up with bullshit anymore. That's what we want, and that's what we can create. So I hope this video has helped. I really feel the shift and the turn. And I was celebrating RFK. I mean, he was my presidential candidate when I was hoping, but I knew it wouldn't work out. And when he got together with Trump, I just felt that's the trajectory of the world has turned. And everything, it's going to be an uphill, rocky climb, but it's going to be okay, because we've put our energy behind that to get to where we are. And I still have people attacking me on Facebook. I had somebody there the other day leaving me comments in 3 different places. How can you be a healer and like Donald Trump? you're not a real healer because you like a really evil, vicious, nasty man. It's okay, well, it's time for you to let go of the ideas that you hold so closely and so tightly, and to allow for the possibility that something other than what you think the world is made of exists, and we're creating it. I love you all. I'm filled with love. I'm filled with joy. I'm filled with hope. I'm filled with hope. RFK, they said, what would you like RFK to do first? I have a list. But I think the thing I'd like him to do first is to remove liability on big pharmaceutical companies in America. That will ripple outwards to the whole world. These people should be personally liable, whatever about the businesses being liable. They should all be liable, and they would never, ever put anything on the market again if they were personally liable. How about all that news that came out last week? Did you see about people going blind on that diet drug? People have been prescribing that left, right, and center. It's another experiment. I'm beginning to feel that if people are not researching these medications, these drugs, before they take them, it's on their own heads be it. So we need to get the education out there. We really need to get that education out there, because I think those medications will always be there, and it comes down to choice. And choice you can only make if you have that education. And with Donald Trump in the presidency, we are free to speak. And that's why I celebrate Donald Trump's inauguration. We are free to speak, we are free to disagree, and we are free to let go of our need to fix and change everything, because the information won't be hidden anymore. It won't be hidden. And that's what these coming years are all about. Okay, I've talked too much, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.